And of course, I think, you know, knowing which players and which teams are playing here, pretty hard to bet against J-Team. And of course, it is such an important game for them, because if they win it, they definitely are at least second. And it means they are also fighting for that first position against PSG too, after picking up the win against them yesterday. Now, taking a look at runes, I think a lot of things fairly standard. The Glacial Augment for the Leona, which can be traded out for Aftershock. But other than that, I mean, maybe you could make the argument that the Conqueror, not always the rune for the Lilia.
Yeah,
but at least in competitive, it feels a bit better than the likes of the Dark Harvest.
100 games for Bruce.
The very last game of the regular season.
And he will be coming up against this Comet Ziggs. Now, a lot of the Ziggs end up running First Strike in bot lane instead of Comet. It kind of depends how much early game presence you want. And it's kind of interesting because he's gone Comet with Gathering Storm, which oftentimes if you're taking Comet, you're going for the Scorch. Whereas if you're going for the First Strike, then you take the Gathering Storm second. So a bit of a mixture for Pepero and a big trade at level 1. It does definitely favor Zhao too. Now, there is an extra potion here for Minji, so have to keep that in mind. Zhao 2 will be able to match the sustain as long as he can keep up autos. He's looking for that melee Q onto Minji, but a little bit of auto spacing. Procs the Airy there.
Yeah. I think nice trade though. This is actually something we saw yesterday. Nuli's game of the Jace against an Annie, where Nuli found a massive advantage from basically level 1, where he got face checked and just found huge amounts of damage, making his lane a lot easier than it perhaps should have been. But Zhao 2, I think in general the start of his lanes always look good. It's just around these objectives where his Jace doesn't seem to have the same impact that other Jaces in the region do as Bruce. Taking a trip through that wall will find a nice amount of damage here onto Pepero. And again, Pepero will have 2 potions available for himself, as also have the teleport, so is afforded an extra base that Bruce will not be.
Lava's looking mid, and this is very volatile. The flash
forward stun does land. Zhao 2's not going to be able to get his flash out. Actually, will end up doing so after that knockback comes through, and WSL's in the area. Will be finding damage back onto Lalva now. Doesn't have red buff, so no slows will be coming through, although the bowling ball does land, and WSL...
he
finds it!
Wow. That was pretty long range.
Again, we're seeing a repeat here. It's another game now that WSL finding early advantages from counter-ganking mid. Might be looking for the dive. There is no flash here on Minji.
I think they'll go for it. Show us mid.
Yeah, I need to see mid. Okay, it's a 1-for-1.
We'll get a replay.
Yeah,
surely.
we have to get a replay because...
I can't believe we watched driving get executed while there's a mid dive going on.
Yeah, I wonder... Going to that driver thing real quickly though, I think he was cooking something. He was like stacking up the minion wave so it's going to push back to him and then just executes.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to TP, so he's going to save it, which means it won't freeze. He could have TP back and froze it, but maybe it's too big. Instead, it's just going to stack up nicely for him. But the flash committed from Lava, I'm not sure if he needed to. I think probably Minji should have waited a bit longer. You know, wait for Lava to be ready and then go for the flash. Because I think you need to be able to connect that flash without, you know, having, or connect the Q without having to flash for it from Lava. And flashed after that. He was taken out. In picture though, Zhao 2 just got ganked. Okay.
Zhao 2 is taken out. WSL finding more. Oh my god, there's so much. We're looking at a dive. Okay, there is a stun in the picture WSL lives. He's auto attack. Double kill there for Minji. Now back to the dive. Zhao 2 goes down, but is able to find the kill as well. We're going to get another replay, but it's a 3-in-1 Annie on our screen. Enso getting extremely low here in the bot side. There's just so much going on.
It is, yeah. The Rod of Ages, Lilia is what we're going for.
Okay, if you're going to make an argument for it, it's that, honestly, this is also an argument against it, but you are sort of ahead here. You have accelerated a little bit here, a lot faster than you should be, as Bruce is going to get stunned up, but we'll be happy to just skirt on through that wall. As I was saying though, you are accelerated, so you are going to get that gold a little bit faster, which means the stacks will come through faster, but on the other side, you would just have more damage earlier if you have just gone Leandres.
We are looking for a repick gank onto mid though. Obviously both mids without the flash here, so are quite vulnerable. This time, Lava's a lot closer around, and they get a lot of damage onto Zhao 2.
Zhao 2 doesn't proc his phase rush.
He doesn't have phase rush, he's got first strike.
Oh, did he? Oh, my bad.
And there, I mean, WSL, he commits pretty hard, but Minji with the longest autos ever takes him out. And what is going on top? Level 6 advantage.
Yeah, level
He's
6 advantage. Driver does pick it up. Is going to flash out and should survive. WSL on top side, but certainly not close enough to make anything happen there. And it is just a straight solo kill. And what usually is a Renekton-favoured matchup goes the way of Driver.
And what is going on? I mean, it's 7 minutes in and we've had so many
Tibbers
kills
comes
and
out.
we might not even be
is
done.
very low, but now the boys have turned up. Xiaotu actually getting very low to Tibbers, but is going to survive. Bowling ball comes through, connects there onto Enzo. But again, this Lily doesn't have damage. Got a couple early kills and opted into the Catalyst, which means is even weaker, you'd think, than the Sejuani at this point, just with Sejuani's base damages.
Looks like Lava will come and start this one up. Has that mid and bot priority currently, and he knows Xiaotu was forced into that recall. Now, something that was kind of interesting here is with Xiaotu going for first strike and within that tree, taking the magical boots means he cannot rush Merc Treads, which is what almost every mid rushes into Annie. And on top of that, there's a Sejuani, right? So it's the most Merc Treads value you could possibly get, and he's not going to have them. So I think he probably should have taken Stopwatch in his runes just so he could rush out the Mercs, because it feels very awkward. You look at his inventory here, it's completely full. WSL, he's going to try to deal some damage on the way out. Might be committing a bit too hard.
Oh, and on bot side, Bruce is getting looked at as well. Xiaotu in the area, though. Lava does have flash available, as does Enzo. Inhal, though, walking forward, ignoring the fact there is a Zeri behind him. Will the Zenith Blade commit? No, it doesn't look like it. The Zippy used, and Enzo's speeding on out of there.
Xiaotu needs to be careful going that way. There is priority from the Annie.
Oh, okay. Bruce being looked at. There's just fights everywhere. Xiaotu does have flash available, will be stunned up. And with the team in the area, doesn't look like there's enough in the tank here for J-Team to commit. Oh, okay. Nice bit of poke landing onto Bruce. And Enzo's actually just doing circles here, realizing it's pretty hard for him to walk that way. And with him spotted there, they're not going to commit to the dive. Xiaotu also will find Lava in that bush with the Shock Blade. Shock Blast even, and Minji. Oh, there's just so much happening, man. Bruce getting very, very low. Ult not available for Pepero, but it might be on this wave.
Yeah, he might hit 6.
Bowling ball, not going to commit.
Okay, hit 6 on Pepero.
Oh, does he throw it? No, okay, he doesn't. But this should allow for a lot of tower damage to come through here for the Ziggs. Feels pretty good. Now, Dominus
Speaking of tower
top.
damage.
Yeah.
That's 2 plates. Dude, what is going on? Why is there so much action? It's only a 300 gold difference at this moment, but feels like all across the board there is just action.
Yeah, I mean, there's no kills in the bot lane, but it feels like there has been close to like 3 of them. And now Driver constantly, I mean, he's lived between these 2 towers the entire game. He's being looked at now, does not have flash, and JP, if he lands the stun, it could be pretty bad. The bowling ball doesn't find the angle there. But man, what an action-packed game. WSL now turning attention towards the Rift Herald.
And I wonder, will this one get contested? I think this should be Dewish teams. Now, Minji is quite strong, but I think given that the Leona is a lot more valuable than the Lulu at this fight, that it's pretty hard. And I think also Ziggs coming here with the ult. Okay, Pepper TP's bot. So now they secure the first Herald. Although, with that TP committed, maybe Lava can look for the steal.
They are zoning. It's very close. WSL, who got that?
I think Dewish team got it, yeah.
Okay, Dewish team did manage to pick it up. Stun though, Permafrost, as well as that Glacial Prison lands. Tibbers comes in through. WSL flashing, trying to get away, but will end up getting taken out by Lavas. JP will also be stunned up by that Permafrost. He should be okay to get to his tower. In fact, he is. And in the meantime, it is WSL going down, but picks up the Rod of Ages on that recall. With the Rift Shield though, I wonder where he's going to come out. You feel like he should just head bot and put it down in that Ziggs lane. Likely to get the tower very soon after. Minji committing the teleport down to this lane as well.
What does seem the most likely? I will say I think that was a very big misplay from Dewish team. You saw that J-Team were willing to give it up until the moment that Pepper TP bot. And what you often see is the Ziggs just ult the bot wave and walk to Herald. But instead here, had just TP'd bot to a big stacked wave, and that gave J-Team the confidence to contest this. And while there is a Renekton here, he doesn't have ult. And Minji was 3-1 on the Annie before this, now 4-1, I believe. It was just so powerful at that fight. So they grabbed the Herald, but it's very costly. You would want to get this one for free and then just be able to drop it bot, but now it's a bit more difficult just because you don't have a lot of control around mid. Right, Minji is pretty much just going to be getting the prio and walking down the map.
And I want to say also, during that replay, we saw WSL landed that bowling ball onto both Minji and Enzo as they were walking up, and I feel like you could have just committed that ultimate, put them to sleep, and then there is no way that J-Team can contest, knowing that you have teleported your Ziggs bot and you are vulnerable.
That would be nice. Fortunately, did not go for it. So J-Team, they start to pull ahead here. There is still a bit of gold kind of in the tank, really, with that Herald, especially if it goes towards the Ziggs lane, which it should. Lava may be looking for something on top. Yeah. JP has the ult, but might still be vulnerable.
Yeah, Will knows now. He should pop the ult immediately. Does come through, but so much CC coming through. Counter-Strike will land. Permafrost will also land, and it's JP. He's getting targeted pretty hard after going down in that solo 1v1. It's Driver with a firm grasp on this top lane. WSL, though, is in the bot side. He couldn't find an answer. Are they going to look for a dive, or are they just going to look to put down this Rift Shield? I feel like you can almost do both. Pepero might just be able to get into execute range of that teleport. Rift Shield coming down now. Oh, Zenith Blade comes before the minion wave hits, and Bruce actually getting pretty low. Though connect there, the Drowsy coming through. He's going to be put to sleep. Zenith Blade, the Solar Flare comes through, cleanse as well. Wild Growth now, Bruce getting low, but Zhao 2 will clean that one up as the Rift Shield does connect. Zalva coming in, Glacial Prison won't land, but it's Minji coming in from the side. There is no flash available, and Nice Satchel will deny him from getting in close enough for now, but WSL doesn't have the speed. Acceleration Gate won't be enough. Inhale trying to block as much damage as possible. The damage is being turned around, but Lava doesn't really take any. Smite will get rid of that Tibbers off of the map. And it is just going to be a couple of plates and 2 kills here. Actually, just the 1 kill for Dewish team.
Something very, very important there. Obviously, there were a lot of kills picked up, but Bruce now has the Shiv, which makes it hard for Pepper to actually finish this tower off. Even though it's only on a couple plates, I think it needs to be
probably like 2 autos.
Yeah, it's really, really close. But question is whether or not you can actually get to the tower. Almost feels like you need one more of those of just sending all the boys down to bot lane. And it could be possible. I mean, Zhao 2 has TP advantage, and so does JP. So if somehow they can get down there, that would be good. But top lane is in shambles as the first tower is going to fall, and not even to the Ziggs team. Driver, he's a rich man right now.
Yeah, Dr. Ivor
he's even got a cull.
He does.
That's why they paid the doctors the big bucks.
That's right. He's almost completed that cull as well, and it's going to be the dragon picked up here. I believe it might be the second of the game, or is it the first? I'm not sure, but we'll have a look soon, sure. Inhale, polymorphed up. He's a lot of CC coming down onto him, but Pepero with this consistent damage, actually finding quite a lot. Leandri's picked up by him is fairly meaningful. Isn't a whole lot of sustain that comes through here for the side of J-Team, and this could be a meaningful sort of change. Okay, WSL on the top side now. Driver has flash. He's going to commit the Grandmaster at arms, and JP's getting very, very low. Does get a nice bit of sustain there, and this could be a very important shutdown if they find it, but it's going to be Driver who's turning around.
Oof.
He's winning the 2v1. Okay, Ramus thumbs ups them. Almost gets the kill there. Almost gets 2 of them.
Man, the doctor is in.
He certainly is.
Dr. Ivor.
Finishes the cull, so has even more power on that recall.
Yeah, he's just so strong here. Turret plates will fall pretty soon, but all the top ones have already been picked up. And there are pings towards that bot tower, but it just feels so hard for Dewish team to actually get down towards it because they're really starting to suffer around the rest of the map.
Yeah, 3k gold lead here for J-Team. 2 dragons to 0. I want to say, though, honestly, this is a so much better looking Dewish team than we saw for the first 5 weeks. I don't know where they were the whole time, but there's no way you see them earlier on in the split and think these guys could go toe-to-toe early game against J-Team. Pepero picking up himself a tower. Now, that does unleash your Ziggs. That feels pretty good. All WSL, you are just going to be able to get out. Minji caught on the back end there. Looks like Demonic Embrace should be coming through soon for WSL, and importantly, 5 more minutes until he will have that Rod of Ages upgrade, which will be after the 3rd dragon. And this is kind of the problem you get with the Rod of Ages, is now you're getting to the stage where you have to contest the dragon, but you still don't have the power from a mythic.
Check player goal between top laners.
Yeah.
3,000 difference here. At only 15 minutes, which is bigger than the gold lead between the teams right now, which is pretty absurd. Looks like they're going to siege towards mid, and they've got a great comp for it. Lots of poke that they can throw down the lane, but the Shiv is definitely going to make things a lot more difficult. Now, J-Team's starting up this Herald. This is one the Dewish team would really like to get so they can break open the mid tower, but I'm not sure if they can win fights at this point. The top lane difference is just too much. While there is a Gore Drinker on
Seems
the
like they're
Renekton.
looking for the Doctor. Counter-Strike coming through pretty early. He's going to go to sleep, though. He is definitely asleep now. And Lava trying to answer a lot of CC, as well as that Super Mega Death Rocket comes through, and Zhao2 picks himself up a shutdown. Now, Reset comes through on the Herald. Are Dewish team going to look for it? Because Minji does use the Proto Belt, but is not able to find that stun here onto Pepero. Going to commit it, as well as the Tibbers onto Enhao. And it's Dewish team running away, but they do have a lot of poke. In the meantime, though, it is Lava really securing this Rift Herald. Dewish team losing the Herald, but ultimately picking up a shutdown there onto Driver. Goes over to Zhao2. Much needed gold here for your Jace. Accelerating towards that second item.
Well, a minute and a half on the next Dragon, and this is a pretty big one. Dewish team are going to have to try and contest this, and importantly, Minji does not have Flash, which is a big engage tool, obviously off the board, but you're also missing Flash on Pepero here, and he should be fine. I mean, he's got long enough range, but if he does overextend just a little bit, I'm sure he'll be punished for it. Another kind of important thing about playing the Ziggs bot lane is that you need to take TP, and of course, having no cleanse up against the Jack, Sejuani, and Annie can be extremely difficult to deal with.
Demonic Embrace picked up by WSL.
Okay, big spike.
Massive, massive item to have found just before this Dragon. Would have been nice if Zhao2 could have picked up that Mirror Mana. It seems like he's very, very close, and he's headed to the top side. Doesn't have teleport available for now, but will be up very, very shortly after the spawn of this Dragon. So we'll see. I think that could be one of the most important items to look towards ahead of this Dragon.
Yeah, maybe they can just try to delay just for 30 seconds or so and let him finish that up.
Oh, that's really good. And I want to point out too, the Chemtech Dragon, while oftentimes not considered one of the better ones, when you have a Lulu, finds a lot more value. Not necessarily to the soul, but just the Dragon passive on its own.
Yeah, there's shielding for Annie as well.
Yeah, well, that's true. Healing comes through from a lot of these members as well. Obviously, eventually Bruce will pick up some sustain in his kit.
Okay, 12 seconds, and I think that Dewish team have bought themselves a little bit of time. They forced Bruce into that recall.
Oh,
so, yeah,
recalling.
I think he's got it now. And they really need to win. Well, they don't even need to win the fight. They just need to get this drag.
Does
he complete it? Okay,
he does.
got it.
And he needs one more ability for the mana to upgrade as well. So definitely should have it now. Be surprised if he doesn't manage to find a piece of damage somewhere. Now, Dragon started up by Dewish team. Lava obviously entering first. We'll see if WSL can find some primary targets. Oh, yeah, flank coming through.
Here comes
Driver.
the Doctor.
The Doctor, here's Flash. Counter-Strike coming through. The Tibbers onto two members. And they are just instantly annihilated. Pepero going to go down next. It's 3-0 as WSL and Zhao2 are just having a run. But the Doctor's having none of it. He does leap forward with that empowered crab. It's going to be him going down, though.
Empowered crab, eh?
Not the crab, but what is it? The blast cone.
Okay, but that will mean this mid tower goes down. WSL does not have the ult. He's dealing quite a bit of damage, though.
He is. And importantly, third Dragon picked up. Well, should be. Actually, they're just not even on it yet. What happened here?
I wonder if we're just going to have more resets come through. But Bruce, he might.
Bruce
he's in big
might
trouble.
have. Lava coming through. Oh, WSL. And now Pepero arriving means that J team are having a run. And eventually it should actually be Dewish team now, despite losing the fight, picking up that Dragon and stopping the stacking.
And I have to say, while that was very well played from WSL, you really have to question what on earth Bruce is doing. I mean, he's just getting so greedy for no reason. Because even taking the chunk is bad. But you see here, this is kind of weakness of poke comps, right? You get set up, but if you don't sweep literally every wall behind you, the Doctor will find a way in. And he gets that engage, follows up the Annie. Just so much damage does come through, and you feel like after this should just be that third Dragon going over, and the game well and truly in J-Team's favor. He hits the plant, maybe goes a bit further than he bargained for. Takes a tower shot on top of it. Flash comes out of Zhao2,
Has
so
a bit
he
of a
gets out.
sleep. Now, a lot of this gold on to WSL. The Doctor, using that crab, as I like to call it, apparently, finds himself in a bit out of position. Tibbers committed as we come back to live. WSL getting very low. I want to point out, though, WSL now has got that upgrade on the Rod of Ages, so a lot of AP, as well as sort of tankiness coming through now. Merc Treads are also finished, so 3 pairs of Merc Treads. They're tenacious boys. 4 even.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that Dragon, they've bought themselves some time. Question is the time favorable for them? I think it's definitely better than nothing. I'm not sure that they outscale, but I don't think they really get outscaled either. Feels like it most likely does just come down to execution until maybe the Zarya's super full build, but that's a really long way off. Bruce is the one who's kind of struggling on the side of J-Team.
And even then, I feel like, especially because a lot of the fights around the objectives, there's not really a very easy way for Zarya to lifesteal. And given you have the Ziggs and Jace, I think Zarya at 6 items, if you give her a team fight, can very much succeed. But I still think, even at that stage of the game, opportunities for success for Dewish team.
Especially with the way WSL has been playing. He's really, really strong. Currently sitting at 100% KP. There's another TP flank, this time from Minji. He's going to walk into JP,
going to
though.
find him. Are they going to commit onto Minji? At least Inhal getting engaged on down here. Wildgrowth used onto Lava for a bit more CC, but it doesn't really find much. WSL now is going in. He's got so much movement speed. He's finding as much damage as possible. Now, ultimately, without the Leandries, he isn't doing all that much to Lava, but he's continuing forward, and now Conqueror does fully stack. We've got the Doctor in the bot lane picking up towers, and meanwhile, it is the 5-men strong Dewish team trying to find something here, and this is exactly what they have to do. They've got a full poke comp. Oh, they try and find something onto Bruce here. The Solar Flare will go wide as Minji, sorry, flashes forward, finds the lockdown, and Inhal's next to go down.
The 4-man.
4-man sleep. 4-man sleep. Bruce cleanses it, but it's going to be a kill onto Minji. JP finds the flash forward onto Bruce, who answers in kind with his own. In the meanwhile, though, the team fight goes even, but it's ultimately a 4v5 as Driver making huge progress on these side lanes. Now teleporting in to stop this tower going down.
You wonder if the TP was necessary, but still, J-Team, they definitely come out ahead there. And so much damage coming out of Minji and WSL. And you really worry, I think, for JP. Obviously, he is very far behind, but he does very little in these team fights. And the fight was still so close. And in the meantime, Driver was getting more and more ahead. Now has the force of nature and is going to be really, really hard to deal with.
I'm kind of curious about the force of nature. It feels like the... what's that other item? The mask? Abyssal Mask?
Abyssal Mask, yeah.
That feels like it's probably better this game. Every single member of your team doing magic damage, as well as, you know, just the better bonuses it really gives nowadays. We'll have to see, though. Obviously, I can't really argue with the Doctor.
Off that fight, though, Bruce did get some pretty big pickups. He's got the Navori and some lifesteal, which is going to start going a pretty long way. You know, I don't think the lifesteal, at least at this point, is a difference between just perma being full HP and not, but it does mean having a bit more health before the team fights, because a lot of the time you're starting these fights as a maybe 80 or 70% health Zeri, which isn't as much as you want, and Minji's got a flank but has no flash. I wonder if Enhal could have committed onto him there. I think they didn't have enough info on where the rest of J-Team were and couldn't pull the trigger. Pepper, though, needs to be careful. He's the one vulnerable member of his team. No tenacity to his name. And he's awfully far up.
Yeah, okay, Shirelli is used here, but Minji on the side. They're going to find the Glacial Prison. This could be a big fight, but WSL marking him. In fact, trying to take out Minji on the top side, though. It's 4 men strong. They're trying to take down Lava on the Sejuani. He's not taking all that much damage. His Driver, Wild Growth, 3-man Counter-Strike. He's going to find everything. Bruce now picking up the scraps. That's 2 kills for him as he charges on forward. There is the Blast Cone available, but Pepero not able to hit it. It's a triple kill now for Bruce.
Ooh,
as he finds the snipe, Xiao not able to click to the side somehow, and Bruce picks up a Quadra.
He does, and from out of nowhere, I mean, Bruce was pretty much completely out of this game, but he's well and truly back in it now. Grabs himself the Quadra. They get the Baron on top of that, and I believe they can even reset and move towards that drag. So it feels like with that, Dewish team's hope in this game has been ripped away. Maybe we'll see what WSL can do in the next fight. And I think that fight, I'm sure we'll get a replay of it, but WSL, he's been so impactful in every team fight so far. But he was the one marking Minji, which I don't really think is his job. I feel like that almost needs to be Anhal just looking for that. Because you'll see what happens, right, is that the Driver and Lava, they end up in the 4-man, and WSL is just soloing out Minji on the side. Can't make use of his AoE, doesn't get the sleep onto any of the members, and so deprived of your strongest member, really. Dewish team just completely fall apart in the 4v4 that happens up here. So confident, really, is Bruce able to just dive forward, knowing that there's no CC, there's no damage left. So it really feels like, while J-Team, of course, they were ahead in gold, ultimately, Dewish team's misplay in the team fight really cost them.
Yeah, I think big question marks at this stage around the sort of poke comp. I think they've actually pieced together a fairly decent team composition, but they're not finding any poke before the fights, and so it doesn't matter. you're not winning 5v5s if the members of J Team are starting it at full health. WSL though looking here for something on Dienso, but the flash will mean that he gets safe. Bruce, though, is going to get locked up here a little bit by Leona, as he does have to cleanse out. Wildgrove comes through, JP in the area, but not able to land that stun, and it's now Lava turning around. Glacial Prison will land onto WSL. He's trying to kite away. JP going to be that sacrificial lamb. WSL should be fast enough to get himself out, as well as the slow coming through from Pepero. But Driver, the Doctor, Blast Cone is available, but WSL playing pretty well. Driver now being looked at. He's getting pretty high on health here as WSL. He's going to find Enso.
No flash on this Lulu.
Yeah, going to polymorph. Driver in the area. Jaltu as well. But again, we're just seeing so many of these shock blasts go wide and not finding any impact whatsoever. And it just makes me question. Dewish team started looking so good. Even while they're on the Jace, they found options to try and win. But ultimately, it gets to this mid-game and Jaltu starts to just do nothing. Oh!
Lots of damage on the Bruce. He doesn't have anything life still off either.
Yeah, WSL though, he's just face checked to Sejuani. He's going to get stunned up. He is able to survive some of the power of that Rod of Ages, but now it's Inhal, the next sacrificial lamb. WSL gets the boys into a bad situation, runs away and makes their team lose. KDA will get himself out. It's going to be an inhib found there though in the top side as well as the bot side.
I wonder, are they going to push for more with this? They've broken this. I think they have to go mid. Although there's a TP onto bot from Driver. So maybe they'll keep pressuring. I think, yeah, should probably go mid. This will be another one that falls, though, eventually. Driver picks this one up, and he's going to hop away. Looks like resets will just come out. So not going to be able to break the mid inhib just yet, but the side inhibs are really the ones you're after. Obviously makes setting up for any more neutral objectives quite a lot easier.
And avert your eyes when this graphic disappears
No.
to Zig's items.
Oh, no.
Just avert your eyes.
It's going to be a Shadow Flame, isn't it?
It is. And it's also answered by a Force of Nature, an Abyssal Mask.
Oh.
The classic.
You hate to see it. Whose
So,
Gromp is this?
Okay, Driver.
It's Driver's.
It's Driver's Gromp. But is he going to go down? He's extremely tanky.
He is.
WSL now on the receiving end of the Doctor's punishments. Is he trying to get out? Is he? It's going to be Bruce picking up one kill. Driver eventually finds it as JP now stuck in the middle of 5 members of the JT. Now Jaltu and Pepero last alive. Bruce will be confirming this kill. Picks himself up a triple. Now with just Jaltu left remaining and 2 inhibs down. Super minions empowered running down this bot lane. It should be J-Team picking up their win. Ensuring that there will be no fight over that second place with Beyond. And also giving themselves a chance at first.
Yeah, they will have the potential to tie up with PSG if they lose to Hellpigs later on today. But with that, that will be the last we will be seeing of Dewish team for the split. And it's almost a shame because in those kind of very last few games of the split, they did actually